I chose my words and I always spoke with purpose. I'ma speak my mind until they close the curtains. Look deep inside before you judge the surface. Look in my eyes and read between the lines. My soul is searching. Chosen, gotta focus. They notice. TONYA, Kiana, and Molly. Action, no bragging, no boasting. Facts with no capping. They hold it down. Envision these words and use them as power. The enemy lurking. I'm calling my spirit, and if it can hear me, it's spoken with purpose.
We back again. Y'all already know this is SWP, Spoken with Purpose, here again. Well, y'all already know we can talk about any and everything on this show. Today we have a topic that is one that we're not going to avoid because we realize it's just that important. So we're going to be talking about some personal experiences. We got some Kleenex up here today, man. This thing is going to be real. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all already know my name is TONYA, a.k.a. Two Back Baby.
And my name is Kiana, a.k.a. Kiana, a.k.a. KB.
Baby. You remember we doing baby?
Baby last week.
Yeah.
Baby.
And my name is Monique,
Yeah.
also known as Mo Money.
That's right. That's right.
Hey.
And we got a special guest here today, man. Long time friend, go back way back. That don't mean we old, but that mean we still here.
We're older.
We
Yes,
wise,
Lord.
But that is our girl, Katandra.
Michelle, that is. Michelle, that is.
She said that.
Oh, you all right with Michelle?
Michelle, that is.
Yes. She said that she would like to be called Michelle.
That's all right today. Well, then it's gonna be Michelle. Michelle, it is.
So I'm here to share my story
Share that
and
shit.
whatnot.
Share
So
that shit.
Our topic, of course,
abuse,
today.
abuse.
Our topic, of course, today is I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Dating abuse.
Absolutely.
Dating abuse. And we have Michelle here, and she's getting ready to let us know about some of her experiences that she had with dating abuse.
Absolutely.
We're going to have some questions that we may ask her. You can comment as well. Feel free to join us at any time.
So before we get started with Michelle, we just wanted to shine light on this topic. I myself am pull your chair up, baby. Am a survivor.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna also share my stories, and we do have a special caller that's calling, not a special, but a secret caller that's calling in, someone who is currently in an abusive marriage, and she wants to call to be a little inspiration and inspire.
In other words, y'all, this is a very, serious topic. It's going on a lot, I just recently had a friend / co-worker who was killed not too long ago. I think it was about a month ago, by her husband that she just recently married in February. So, I mean, this is definitely a touching subject, and we want to have any and everyone comment in reference to this subject. So feel free to join in and talk with us. Let's talk about this. Let's see what we can do to get people help and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted real quick to go over the different forms of abuse.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people don't know that it's more than just hitting.
Physical.
Yeah, it's more than just being physical with someone. There's also sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
There's mental abuse, which for me I think is one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
Verbal abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think verbal is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I would prefer the physical over the verbal.
Really?
Me personally, because I
Yeah.
mean the way they degrade, they
Yeah.
talk bad about you, making you feel less than.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So just go ahead and hit me and get it over with. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And I agree.
They say the
I'd rather
emotional
have-
is definitely it's the longest one to get over.
It is.
The
Emotional, yes,
Yeah.
it
It's
is.
the most damaging.
It most definitely is. And there's a lot of people that's in abusive relationships that don't even realize that they're in abusive relationships.
yeah.
A lot of people think that because I fight back. That, you know what I'm saying, it's
You're
not
in
abuse.
Right, right.
Yeah, so
So,
we're going to touch on...
They also have financial abuse as well, so we don't want to leave that out.
Financial?
Yeah, financial abuse. That's why a lot of people stay in marriage.
she did some research on
Okay. Okay.
I ain't telling what you
I ain't
did
heard of
for.
that
She
one
did
before.
some research.
Yes,
Elaborate on
financial
that,
abuse too is
'cause
why
I
a lot of people don't leave their relationships because, you know, they prevent people from working to provide, you know what I'm saying, to,
Oh, okay.
you know, get wealth on
Well, that's a
their
part
own.
of the mental abuse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So my question would be, I mean, I tiptoed around some abuse, but it was mutual. So I really don't know what to call it, but I know that you guys' situation was a little bit different. So my question would be, how did you first determine that you were in an abusive relationship? Did you know off rip when he first hit you, or was it like, how did you know when? How did you
I'm
first?
answer that one. I feel as though how I find the way I look at it is it's always signs in the beginning of anything. So
Right.
you know, when you meet somebody, you know, they show their true colors on rip. It's whether you ready to, or you're going to be, you know, you're going to be attentive to it. So with mine, it was more so of the small little pushes. It started with the pushes. I was 14 years of age, so I was still a baby. And it's like I said, it started with the pushes, and then when I hit 15, that's when it was more so the real abuse, where I was getting punched. I even was pregnant at 15 by this individual, and he literally beat the baby out of me at the age of 15. And so I think honestly, you know, you can tell by even conversating with a person, you know, what they, you know, for the first conversation, you pretty much know what you know, how this person is. We just tends to overlook the signs or whatever. So like I say, for me, it was started off with the little pushes, and then they ended up the punches.
So was it the push that made you know that he was abusive, or was it the punch?
Or was it a constant push?
Or was it a
constant
constant
push.
push? And you
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
okay, he's
Constant
No,
pushes.
this joker like to push people.
Yeah, them pushes started getting a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ain't
you
a
like to
killer,
push
but
people.
Don't push me.
Yeah,
Don't push
Yeah.
me.
Him was pushing, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because they say that most abuse don't start off physical, and you started off with a push.
yeah.
Yeah, you
But
know,
I
you
think
right on out the door.
You gotta. Hey, that first, I look at it now from me being in that experience for 10 long years.
Wow.
That you can't allow them to do anything. Like if they even raise their voice loud, hey, I'm out. Like for real. Like
Yeah.
there's no sugar come with me because I've experienced that.
Right.
You know, but
Everything's a red
people don't
flag.
know how to get out. Like you have to leave. Like you have to let it go. You know. And that's just the reality of things. Like once you let that stuff linger, eventually it's deadly now.
Yeah.
It's not the
Right.
way it used to be. These men are killing these women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
vice
deep.
versa. We don't want to just single,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
what
the
I'm saying?
men too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
the women too.
too.
The women
Women
too
are
with the
killing
men.
these men
Yes,
too. So we
yes.
don't want to just single out
Yes,
one gender. We want to
yes.
definitely make sure that both
Yes.
genders are being talked about here
Yes.
tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mo,
How did it start for you? How did you recognize it?
put your cup down.
I've been in 2 abusive relationships, and the first time it was more physical. The second time it wasn't as much physical; it was more mental.
Wow.
And
The first time.
okay, so the first time, when did I know it was abusive?
Yeah.
I was in an abusive relationship. Probably the first time I said no about something. The first time, well, he had proposed to me, and I reluctantly accepted. And I think 2 days before the wedding, I told him I didn't want to do it
Oh wow.
because he had already started doing like little things, but with him, it was more body blows. So
He started with punches. He started with punches.
to the gut. Yeah, it was nothing to my face because he didn't want people
Yeah.
to know
That's crazy.
that he was
That's
abusing me.
sad.
Yeah.
But and I don't know if you
It
remember.
was verbal. It was verbal. It started with verbal. I don't mean because I remember this person, and I remember telling you just hearing, I was, a witness to some of the conversations that, and I say, Mo, I remember specifically telling you, I was like, he a woman beater. Did I not? I made that. I said, and don't move. I don't know what it was. It was just the conversation, like the things he would say. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and he had never hit her.
Wow.
He never had. It was just his conversation. He hadn't hit her yet.
Wow.
It was just the beginning, and I said that to her.
She did. But see, I grew up around
Aggression.
a lot of boys, a lot of my boy cousins. I grew up fighting with them. I grew up fighting them. I grew up pretty much the aggressor. So when I got with my first kid's dad, I was the aggressor in that relationship, and everyone swore up and down it was him that was beating me, but it was me that was beating him.
Wow.
And I felt like and I felt like with all the stuff that I did to this guy when I got with
this second
guy, I felt like this was just like a payback.
Wow.
So yeah, like I said, 2 days before the wedding date, I had said I didn't want to get married, and he jumped on me. I had a black eye. A lot of people don't notice I had a black eye on my wedding day. If you look at my pictures real good, you can see I had a black eye. But let me just go back and say this. For me to talk about these two abusive relationships is kind of hard because of the fact that, well, one of them I've never opened up about. I've never shared it because of who it was, and I've never shared it because I never had this discussion with my daughter. So today she's basically finding out what happened.
Jesus.
He's no longer here.
Wow.
So so that one is going to be very tough for me, but for the second one it's also difficult because that one is something that I'm not over and I'm still dealing with. I'm still healing from it, me and my kids.
Absolutely.
But to go back with what you were saying, what people show you at the beginning, I don't agree with that. I think that people show you who they want you to see in the beginning. So, you know what I'm saying, they get in your mind and they show you everything that you feel like you want in a man.
Right.
And I don't feel like you really know someone until you live with them, and they can't hide, that person that they really are.
Can't hide it for too long.
Right. I definitely agree.
What goes on in the dark definitely comes to the light.
And I think that there has to be, in order for a woman that's in an abusive relationship, I think in order for her to leave, it has to be one or two things. Like either something has to happen traumatically, which in both of my situations is what happened.
Right.
And then two, I think that someone has to be able to reach you, like, you know what I'm saying, with their words. And until that happens, I think it's hard. I'm not going to say I don't think that they will leave, but I think it's extremely hard for a victim to leave that situation. So, as far as the, we're going to continue to go, but as far as the caller that's calling in, because of the nature of her being currently in the situation, she is calling, so I do want to go ahead and let her talk while she can.
Right.
So, but y'all can continue while I get her on the line.
I think you have to really, in order to talk about it, I think you have to already been unhealed from it. Because
I think talking helps you to heal.
That too. But I mean, before I was bitter, unforgiving, like I didn't forgive. But once I finally, let God know about it. God already know about the situation, but when I talked to him about it, and then I forgave my kid's dad, and then I forgave myself, then now I see it's more easier to talk about it. But it's hard, especially with now. You tell a person you finna leave, they killing you and all kind of stuff. So you have to really plan. You can't just. I don't want to say just get up and leave, because you have to plan everything. You got to plan it. You got to plan it, and you got to be very sincere. You got to want it too. You can talk about it, but if you're not being about it, then I agree, because you could be in an abusive relationship, but they may not be willing to not let you out of the relationship, because I've dealt with some form of abuse.
since we're not calling out no names, but I didn't have nobody who wasn't willing to. It wasn't no life or death situation. You still got freedom to go.
Yeah, mine was life and death. But before, everything good? Oh, okay. So we're not going to worry about those right now. But and not to ignore your comments.
The caller's
guys.
calling in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have the caller on the line now, so we want to go ahead and get her on. Angela, let me know when you're ready.
I don't want to say just get up and leave.
Yes. Hello, Queens. I'm good. Thank you guys so much for having me. There's a slight delay, so let me get used to being on the live feed. I just wanted to say that I'm proud of all of you individually and collectively, especially with doing this. You guys have truly brought a voice to us as Black women, and I've just loved the concept, the camaraderie, and the whole presentation of it. I'm very proud of you all. Hello?
She can hear me while I'm talking? No. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot I got to let you know. Okay. She say, okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear her right now. Okay, so earlier this week, I'm sorry, caller, whenever we want to say something to you or ask you a question, we have to mute you so that we can, What I'm doing?
You can hear it on your ear.
I can hear her. Oh, I can hear her now.
You can hear her.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear her. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear her?
She said yes.
Okay. All right. So just to let you know, whenever we want to say anything, we have to just mute you. But I won't keep interrupting you. I just want to let everyone know that earlier this week when we first decided to do this topic, that you had reached out to me. And basically your first question to me was, how did you get out? And you told me that you were currently in this situation. And I mean, I was so moved by your story. So if you could just go into a little brief summary of what you're dealing with. Yeah, we're so happy.
Right.
Brave enough to discuss
thank
this.
you all.
So thank you for sharing your story with us.
I relocated.
Okay, so give me
from
1 minute.
another
1 minute.
Another reason
Oh, she's talking.
to
We can
this
hear you.
season,
You can go ahead and
Let me see the.
to reconcile and be back in a relationship. We dated and courted for 6 months before this decision was made. So I had a list of things that I required, and he was doing those things. At least I thought he was. It wasn't until we got here, maybe I'd say 6 days, that I guess he couldn't hide who he really was anymore. And he came home drunk. I was livid because that was the one thing that I asked be eliminated, and I was told that he was doing AA and he hadn't had a drink in blah, 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 blah months. And I truly believe that. That was all a lie. So with the tension already being elevated, at this point, it was about 3 days after then that there was another argument, and he said something in the way of, if you say one more motherfucking word to me, I'm going to bust you in your mouth. And I said word because I'm just slick out the mouth like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to back down, which looking back, I should have just stayed quiet. And when I said it, he literally bust me in my shit. I was stunned, astonished, but also the technique was so smooth and quick. I just couldn't believe, like, did he just really do this? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And from then, it's just been horrible. It's been hell, because I didn't have a backup plan. And what I'm ashamed to say, but I will say, because I believe in transparency, and I believe that this program that you guys are doing, this episode, is going to help so many women. I was a domestic violence counselor. I was an advocate for domestic violence from where I'm from, and now I'm on the other side as a victim, and it was very humbling. It wasn't my first time. That's what got me into domestic violence, but it's been over almost 30 years. So I had to now fight or flight, but at the same time be mindful, because I brought my children with me. I wanted to say this to everyone that's listening. It is not you. You are not losing your mind. It is not your fault. These people that do this are narcissists, and they are manipulators. They are manipulators. You are not wrong. If I don't put my hands on you, don't put your hands on me, whether that's male or female, because I have sons. So I'm not going to sit up there and say, you cannot hit a woman if she hit you. I'm not going to do that. But I have told my boys, if she don't touch you, I don't care what she said about your mama, your grandmama, your ancestors. I'll be all that. We'll be all those things. But don't you dare put your hands on or walk away. So this has just turned my world upside down. I now have an escape plan. People will tell you, if you listen, what they're going to do to you. Most of us don't listen to hear. We listen to comment. And he had said, one time I was coming out the door, I should lock your ass out the door. So from that moment, I was like, what if I was in the shower and he threw me out the shower and threw me out the door naked? So I have now placed a bag. I have 3 of them all over the city. I have done reconnaissance in my neighborhood to find out an escape path in case I have to run out. I've also done the drill with my children in case it does come to that. I need the listeners to realize this is serious. This is not for play. Women are dying. 35 women have died in the last month nationally, just the national news. Just imagine how many have not made the national news. But in the last month, that's a lot of us dying.
Wow.
So we want to just give you, I'm unmuted. We want to just give you a little minute, a little break. Kiana, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Are you at your breaking point? Is that what I'm hearing? Like, is it like, how do you really know when enough is enough? Like, at this point, are you really at your breaking point?
Oh, most definitely.
Are you ready to go?
Great question, by the way. I am for me, because I just feel there are certain things that a man, if he is forgiven for, feels that he has permission to continue. You cheat on me, you bring me a venereal disease, you have a baby on me, and if you hit me, you will, if I forgive you, I truly feel that you will still remain to do these things. Now, everybody changes, and I'm not saying that. That is not this case. So you strike me one time, I'm out. I mean, it's just, I'm out. should he go to counseling and do all those things? Or I can't say what the future will hold. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, yeah, I'm out. I also wanted to let you all know that the national average for the times that women leave before they finally leave is 11. 11 times before they are finally through, finish, and walk away. Before they finally leave is 11. 11 times before they are finally through, finish, and walk away.
Why do you think that is? Like, what actually keeps you there? Why do you think that is? No judgment zone here. I'm just, curious as to why do you feel that it takes 11 times for a woman to actually leave?
And I want to answer that also.
Okay,
go ahead, caller. I'll let you go ahead and answer.
Hello? Okay, so, no, that's fine. I think because we as women are raised as forgivers. We are raised as nurturers. Whether we are a mother or not, it's just that's the way we are reared up as women. And I think we always fall in love. I know for me, with this situation, I fell in love with his fucking potential and not his actions. We need to stop falling in love with what we see, because these men don't see these things, these kings that we see in them. They may not see that in themselves. It is not your responsibility to be happy for someone else's happiness. It's not your responsibility. Happiness comes from within. And in this case, I'm with a very miserable soul who is suffering from childhood trauma. I always try to find out the reasons behind the pain, because hurt people hurt people. But healed people help people.
I so agree. I definitely agree with what you said about hurt people hurt people. I've heard that so many times, so I'm definitely on board with that. And that potential thing, oh, you hit it on the one with that. And Monique, want to go ahead?
Just one more thing before I go. Caller, when we mute you to say something, give it 3-4 seconds before you start replying, because we can't hear you when you start as soon as we finish. So just give it a few seconds. But in order to answer your question of why it takes so many times for somebody to leave, I think it's because they don't have a plan. Like how she said she has a plan. They don't have a plan. And I think what abuse starts with, like I said, a mental thing. So, and then even what you were saying about the financial thing, if you're dependent on this person, if you have kids, you're dependent on this person, you're thinking about, if I leave, where me and my kids gonna go? What are we gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have a plan.
Right.
So, they may feel like, I want to get out, I'm not with this, I'm gone. Then they leave, then they go, stay in a hotel room, then they can't afford it after a couple days because he got the money.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people is asking about the children on the comments here. They definitely was wondering if she had children, and what about the children. So keep going. I just wanted to.
So yeah, you just think about, because for me, I left a lot of times. I used to fight to get out, fight to leave. We'll take a few things, but then, and I got my kids, we leaving. Then we go somewhere and it's only, we got like 2 or 3 days of clothes.
Yeah.
So we got to go back to get more clothes. By this time, he already called and I'm sorry this and that. And whether you believe it or not, your kids, I know for me, I was like, my kids are more comfortable being, I ain't gonna say comfortable, but I was thinking of, I'd rather have my children in the house than
On the road.
in my dance studio, because that's where the second one, that's where it initially ended up being. Like I closed my dance studio down, and my dancers don't even know this. That's the reason why I closed the studio down, is because me and my
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. I'm about to start.
Could I tell my breaking point?
Yeah. Absolutely.
My breaking point was
baby.
when I was raped. I was raped by my baby daddy. I was raped. Anytime someone try to have sex with you and you say no, that's rape. I don't care who it is.
Right.
I was
I'm so
raped.
sorry that
and
happened to you.
when that happened, I almost got my kids taken away from me. And I think that was just the breaking point. But I had been praying for over 2 years that he just find him somebody. And he finally found somebody. But that was my breaking point, when he took sex from me without asking. And then I was the victim when the police, because I'm scarred right now on my lip, because he hit me so hard and it bust my lip, and I had to go to the hospital. And when the police came out there and they was talking about taking my kids, that was it for me. I didn't care about no prayer that I prayed or anything. I just knew that I was out.
It was time to go.
Dead or alive. So, just got to get out, man. You got to get out. You can't stay in that toxic relationship, period. I don't care how much.
For me, I mean, you said, it's funny that you say that was your breaking point, that it almost happened for me. That was my breaking point because it did happen.
Oh, wow.
My kids were taken away from me because I kept going back.
Oh, wow.
And we had a history in the system of being violent with each other. So they came and they took my kids, and that's when it was enough for me.
Yes.
But I do want to go ahead and let the caller finish. Like I said, her situation is a little crucial right now.
Can I just mention a couple of comments that we've receiving on, just so that they know we're not ignoring y'all. It's just so serious, and we want to hear what everybody has to say. But I have Haley Haynes. He was like, Julia Mays, I agree. I definitely agree. Kids follow, although I know most women wouldn't want to put their kids through all of that. They want what's best for their kids at the end of the day. Julie wanted you guys to know that it's okay. We all are here to support you. Laura Argro wanted you to know, Monique, I'm crying with you. Rashonda Scott, love you, Mo. Laura Argro, again, this is a powerful podcast. Haley Haynes, very powerful, and I absolutely love that they talk about this. More people need to talk about this, men and women. Julia Mays, have anyone, children, seen or heard the abuse? What did you do?
So when I finish telling my story, I'll go ahead and tell you about my kids, and I also have one of my kids here who's going to talk about it herself and what she dealt with. But like I said, let me go ahead and go back to the caller right quick.
Can I get a mail?
One of my kids here to talk about it herself and what she dealt with. But like I said, let me go ahead and go back to the caller right quick.
Hello? Oh, okay, I can't hear the feedback anymore. That's why I wasn't sure. Kiana, can you say the question again that you asked? Because I can't hear you guys.
She asked, have anyone, children, seen or heard the abuse, and what did you do?
I can't hear you guys. She asked, have anyone, children, seen or heard the abuse? Yes, my son, the abuser didn't know my son was in the house, and he was doing it behind my kid's back. And I was taking it because, like Mo was saying, you don't want to take your kids out of their comfort zone and their familiarity. And my children were not used to abuse in the house, whether it be verbal abuse or anything. So when this happened, he thought we were alone. And when he did it, my son thought we were playing, like play fighting. And he felt so bad afterwards because he was like, he came and apologized. And he was like, Mom, I thought y'all were play fighting. I didn't know it was serious until you started screaming and trying to get away from him, telling him to keep his hands off of you. He's like, I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you. And I told him it's okay because my son just got out of prison. So I'm doing like 6 years, with maybe a year in between the 3-year terms. So I didn't want my kid to go back to prison for a decision that I made. Like, I did everything right, guys. I did everything right in the situation. And I just want to reiterate to the listeners that it's not you. It's not you. I promise you it's not you. But please, now, listening to my voice, start your escape plan. Start planning to try to get away. Put aside money, for something that if it's $8 and he only gives you 10, try to get the generic one and keep the change. Believe it or not, that money adds up, and if you do have a job, start putting away, because just like Mo was saying with the hotels, when they know that they have power over you, they know that they can starve you. They know that they can starve you. And that is the situation that I'm in right now. I had to go and get on welfare up here because he stopped buying food and things for the house, and I have to get out of here with me and my children, and I'm trying to get out of here alive. And I hope that every person hearing my voice, I hope, and I'm sending lights of love and healing and protection, and get out alive.
That was a lot. Yeah. That was definitely a lot.
Chills.
I don't know if anybody else have any questions. I don't want to just,
Yeah, I don't want to keep her on the. I don't want to keep her on the line either. So, did anybody else have anything they wanted to say to her before we let her go?
No, we just want to make sure that we thank you.
I do.
For definitely. I'm emotional. It's hard for me to talk, and I'm a talker. So we definitely want to thank you. She's definitely
a talker. So for her to be quiet is because she's definitely in her head right now.
Yeah.
TONYA is a talker. She likes to talk. But I do have another question. Like what is one thing you felt have been helpful to get you out of this situation? Like, what could somebody do to pretty much help you get out of this situation? Does those hotlines work? Like, what helps?
But I also want to say, when you say make a plan, if they're taking your finances away, and I understand when you say if they're giving you 10, then make sure you get the generic, and that way you keep the change versus taking the route of getting the brand. I also feel like we should reach out to someone that you trust, because what if they're giving you no money and they're taking care of everything financially? There's no money coming through your hands. So I think you also need to make sure that you get someone that you can trust, who's keeping your stuff a secret as well, as a plan of escape, just in case that there is no money available to the people who don't have money coming through to their hands.
Absolutely.
The question. The money, you can always put things in your children's name, bank accounts, whatever. You can do that. Also, a lot of people don't realize you can actually go into your pension or your 401k and grab money. It may take about up to 3 months maximum, and there is a penalty for doing that, but that is an extra resource that you may not think that you have. What someone can do for me to get me out of this situation right now is what I don't have the deposit to rent somewhere. I have the rent, but not the deposit. And up here, they're asking for both. And I was telling Mo, once I am able to get on my feet, I am going to have a foundation through you guys for domestic violence. To help with some of the monetary offset costs, because it's a matter of life and death, guys. Like, this is really serious. This is so serious, and I just keep saying that because we tend as women to see the good, to turn the other cheek. This was a one-time thing, and I'm not trying to be too graphic. You get some of the women that say, oh, well, I got better poom poom than she did, so I can change him. No, Ma, if he hit one queen, he will hit all queens. And the other thing is how they treat their mother, they're going to treat their wife or woman. That's not true. This man took care of his mother and grandmother, and I mean like a caregiver, washing, bathing, changing diapers, took care of them. And he hates women. He hates women. It's such a rage within him that I honestly have never seen. It's evil, and it's very cruel. And I'm just trying to tread lightly and softly so I can get out of here alive. And I want everyone else to get out of here alive. The other thing that you stated was some of the resources. You guys are in Florida, so you do have a lot of resources, a lot of them. In Orange County, in any county, you can dial 211, I believe, and you give them your zip code. They will help you. Also, you have Harbor House in Orlando, Orange County. I think it's Osceola as well. And then you have Safe House, which is in Seminole County. Now, Seminole County does have more resources monetarily and you have to have a police report. I did not call the police. I just was looking at it that he may lose his job, then he's home, now he's more angry, we still can't get out. So I just took the L and I started planning my escape. But you have to do what's the safest for you and your children. You have to do that. So Safe House, 211, Harbor House. In Duval County, there is, I think it's Hubbard House as well, and they will help you. You may have to go into the shelter, but you're alive. You and your children are alive. One more.
We're good? Okay,
I feel bad for her. I really do.
One of the comments on the live asked where was her family, and like we said at the beginning, due to the fact that she's currently in this situation, we can't answer that, and we won't allow her to answer that question. As long as, like she said, she has a plan, she's getting out, she's making preparations to get out. Right now, she's doing what she can, so obviously there's no family around for her to lean on right now, but
without giving too many intimate details,
right,
yeah,
to insinuate who the caller is, we're giving you very limited information.
Yeah,
right,
definitely.
And as far as the shelters, I've called a few of them, and because I had girls and a son, once they get to a certain age, they don't want my son there.
Separate them.
Yeah, so of course as a mother, we just gonna stay in this thing until we can find another route, because we're not going in a shelter and I got to send my son somewhere else. Yeah. So a lot of those shelters, they have a lot of stipulations and a lot of rules. Not trying to, deter anyone from going to a shelter, because if you need to go somewhere, you have nowhere else to go, by all means, please go to a shelter. But in my situation, and then I had too much family, and just to go back, like, when she was saying about her son, she wanted to protect her son. For me, because y'all know I have a lot of male brothers, cousins, that's ready to kill about me, and I hid it from them as much as I could. But I knew that, if I allowed them to know everything that was going on in my home, that my brother wouldn't be sitting right there.
Absolutely.
My cousins it'd be a completely different story. So
this is crazy, because we're always willing to protect the abuser, because I'm in that same family. So we be like, no, cuz they get a pass.
Yeah.
No, not this one, not that.
Yeah.
Because we're so keen to, because we're protective and we still keep hope alive, to be honest. So we always make sure we give some passes out to these jokers, and they may not deserve a pass. I ain't trying to say nobody's life need to be taken, but at the end of the day, we got to get out with it.
And then also to talk about family, they get tired of you going back too. Like, you know, they be like, listen, I done came over there a few times and you still back with this nigga. Like,
I don't even want to come back.
Don't call me no damn more.
Yeah. Stuff
Definitely.
gets serious.
But so the caller says she's gonna stay on as long as she can. She doesn't mind being muted and staying on.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
if we
caller.
have anything else we want to say to her.
Thank you.
But before I go into my story, Michelle, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead and.
You good, Michelle?
Yeah. After hearing that, you never know what nobody else going through, man. You think that you got it bad, but just hearing that like really like took me all the way back. Like I can literally envision what was done to me just listening to her, and her situation is she's still in it.
Yeah.
So man, look here.
Why? Can I ask you
Yes.
this, Michelle? Why did you stay? Was it in hopes that he would change? Was it that you thought you can change? Because a lot of times, us as women, we feel as though we can change a
Not
man,
necessarily change, but definitely
Or-
help them.
right? Help them. But
them
I'm
to wanna
gonna say
change.
like this is real. A lot of women feel as though they can change a man. They can actually change. It's not that they can help them, but so much that they can change, or even a man or a woman. I mean, a woman as well as a man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes feel as though they can change an individual, but it's definitely not something that you can do in your own ability.
No.
So I was, asking, like, did you feel as though he was going to change with your help, or?
I loved him. I was young, 13 when we started talking, 14 when we started dating. So I loved him. And
Did you think, not to cut in the middle, but did you think that the abuse that was coming from him was a form of love? Because a lot of people feel like he don't love me if he don't hit me. They have been in so many abusive relationships, or have grown up around so many abusive relationships, so they feel like if someone don't hit them, then they don't love them.
that was the first man to ever put his hands on me. Like I've never, even after that, I've never experienced that.
Right.
I loved him, and like I say in the beginning, it was kind of funny, with the little pushes and with him being, jealous and things of that nature. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But as the time progressed and them hits started getting a little bit harder.
Them pushes kind of got harder.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, this man literally
You ain't but a
grabbed my
five.
feet and drugged me down the hallway and down 15 stairs. Literally. And then when I got up, he tagged me a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? I was very afraid of that individual because of his tone of voice is what really, really made me afraid of him. And still to this day, he's, he with somebody doing the same thing. And I forewarned that individual, and she's still with him. Still to this day.
So that was one of my questions. If someone is an abuser, do you think they're always going to be an abuser?
I think for him, yeah. I think for him. And it's crazy because he told me his dad almost killed his mom. And you would think, you would think, like, watching that, like, why would you do that?
You realize it's a lot of the same stuff that go on, and it's like curses, it's like generational
Yes.
curses.
Absolutely.
You got to break that
when
stuff.
they say hurt people, it's like
Yes.
that type
Yes.
of thing. 'Cause I don't
Same
agree. I mean, I know that the hurt people thing exists, but for me, I don't want to. If you done hurt me, I am not trying to inflict that same hurt
Indeed.
on nobody else, because I know how it felt for me, and I appreciate it. Like, for whatever it is that I felt about that hurt, I definitely don't want to inflict it on nobody else. So yeah, that's
So you're
crazy.
one in a few that, treat people the way you want to be treated. We say that, treat people the way you want to be treated, but a lot of times that's not so. So you're one in a few.
Okay, the caller said she wanted to answer that question, but she said love doesn't hurt. She gave a scripture, but
First Corinthians.
yeah, let me let her go ahead
Love
and
is.
yeah. So give me 1 second, caller.
Love is.
No, but I know what she's saying, but I'm just saying it do hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts.
No, I ain't talking about the physical, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me let her go ahead and yeah. So thank you. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So what it's a two-part thing. Okay, so the first one was 1 Corinthians 13 chapter. If you want to know what love is, whether you are agnostic like me, atheist, or a Christian, or have another religion, you can see what love is. If it is not those things, it is not love. It is not. It is the adjective before love. Hurt love, abuse love. It is not love. Love does not hurt. It does not. The second thing was, yes, you can change. Once I got out of the first abusive relationship, I found myself the aggressor from that moment forth in other relationships. And I literally would hit first because I felt like a hit was going to come. So let me beat you to the punch and let's just get with it. And you can change. It took therapy for me, not to change the hit, but to heal the pain. We as a society of African American people, we do not talk about mental health. It's just everything that goes on in my house stays in my house. That is bullshit. Because sometimes in those houses is incest, molestation, depression, suicide. Like, you have to talk to someone. But when you're in therapy, you get to know who you are. You get to know and identify triggers, things that will, it's like a landmine in your soul. Oh, wait, this person before did this and said this and had this tone, and this is what happened. Let me now be careful because I just got a warning. You can change. Change is a choice. And I went from a very angry person to someone right now that it just takes a lot for me to get upset. Because I'm, just like I told you guys before at the beginning, I now listen to understand. And once you do that, it hurt people. And this situation, he has childhood trauma that he has not taken any kind of therapy or any kind of counseling to heal. And he's an alcoholic. So no, at no time do you think it's your fault or could you have done something wrong? Or in my case, I did not see this coming. Guys. He is the favorite person at a barbecue, the favorite uncle in the family. He is so charismatic. He's what I call him my zaddy, because zaddy means sexy older man. The man is in his mid-50s and has a body of a 27 to 33-year-old. He is an ex-kung fu master, boxer, MMA fighter. He is in pristine health. And it's not your fault. And it's not your responsibility.
Okay, baby, I told you if you was talking a little bit too much, I would, let you know, because you're giving a little too many details right now. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't want anyone to know. Oh, I ain't got to use this one. I don't want anyone to know or to try to, because I'm sure there's someone out there trying to figure out who you are, who this person is, trying to figure out if they know your voice. So I just want to cut you off with that. I will come back to you, though. Michelle, you want to finish?
Go ahead, Mom. You finish.
So I just had a couple questions about different misconceptions and misconceptions that people on the outside looking in have about women in abusive relationships, and then the questions that they ask. That's, to me, is like the hardest question to answer, because I guess because I remember when Kiana used to be in her thing, like I said, when you're fighting back, you might feel like you're not in an abusive relationship. And that was Kiana. She was fighting back. And I mean, I've even been in situations where not only with Kiana, but you know, my other friends, they fighting their man, I'm fighting with you. We both beating his ass together. But I used to always be like, man, there is no way in hell. Man, I wish a nigga would put their hands up. You know what I'm saying? But I think it starts, like I was saying, as a mental thing. I think they start slowly, like planting seeds that, you know, they water over time.
Seeing how far they can go.
Yeah. And then they like this last dude, like,
Take your time. Take your time.
his words was so demeaning and so degrading that, like, he literally beat my soul down. Like, back to the misconceptions. So a lot of people, I'm a G, I can't be up here crying. But a lot of people ask, why don't she just leave? Like, that's the most irritating question to me. And that's how I used to think. Like, there's no way I'll be in that situation. If it was me, this is what I do. Yeah. And why she just won't leave? Like, she must like it. She must love it. And I mean, Michelle, I'm gonna let you.
She ain't completely innocent, because they always feel like it's something.
Yeah, what did she do?
Like she provoked it. Because you know, they give the victim that as well. She done did some. Your hands ain't totally clean.
Right.
She deserved it. She shouldn't have been talking smack, or she shouldn't have been saying this, or she shouldn't have did that, or she shouldn't
shut up. Should have just left. It's always a shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like she just said, the young lady on the phone. It's not your fault.
It's not.
At the end of the day, everything is a trigger for a joker who ain't. Look, if that's they MO, bro, that's they MO. Anything can set them off. I'm telling you, I dealt with somebody who was an abuser. He didn't necessarily put his hands on me. He put his hand. It got abusive towards the end of the relationship. 2 times. And second one, I would go.
Out of that.
Yeah, enough is enough. I wasn't created to be a punching bag, but you know that ain't everybody's story. But at the end of the day, he used to beat everybody else up around me. Like, look, he ain't put his hands on me, but you could trust and believe he was coming for everybody else that was around me. So everybody have a different method of control, but ultimately their goal is to control.
And I dealt with abuse as well, but it was mutual abuse. You know, I wasn't so much the abuser, I guess, and he wasn't the abuser. We was just fighting each other, you know, because I swing first. You know, if I'm like literally, like if I'm mad, like at 100,
hit first, Keon.
If I'm at 100, used to correction, I don't do that.
You don't do it no more.
I don't do that stuff no more. I don't. Tony, come on now. Oh yeah,
yeah.
But it's just if I'm at 100, then yeah, I definitely will, you know, swing. So I never considered that as being abusive. I just thought we was, you know, fighting. It's a fight going on.
It's mutual.
It's mutual. Shoot, we mutual combat. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you, and I'm gonna hit you harder. So we, you know, but yeah, I never thought of it as being abuse, but now looking at it, it's definitely a form of abuse, because I can definitely hit below the belt, you know what I'm saying, as well. You know, I can say some things that will cut you deep. Yeah. You know, and that's verbal abuse, you know, and me swinging and hitting you first, you know, that's physical abuse. So definitely I've been there. definitely working on it though, y'all. Pray for me.
Yeah, I don't want you to hear me. I'll be mad as heck somebody put that here. Cause I ain't hitting you. Period. I'm not putting my hands on you for one. In my mind, he's stronger than me.
Yeah.
I might have old punk, but in the end of the day, in my mind, I'm still saying he's stronger than me. Not that I'm just scared to hit you back, because I'm going to fight. Yeah, I think that's just a gene that runs through the body. As far as this family, you're going to fight. But I'm not putting my hands on you. Don't put your hands on me is my mentality. Don't do that. So
I agree.
I'm already, the first moment that you put your hands on me, I'm already saying I'm out. So for me to give that person another chance that I forgave you, I'm not built for it.
But I'm also in that.
I'm not built for it.
I'm in that mindset though. I'm in that mindset. I hit you, so I'm looking for retaliation.
Yeah.
I ain't, hitting you and say, oh, you better not hit me because you a man. I know that retaliation.
I ain't because you ain't no man. I ain't put my hands in for nobody.
Yeah, I get it.
don't put your hands on me. Period.com. I'm so serious.
That's why you was out.
Definitely
After the second.
I was done. You think it's a game, bro? You better call him and ask him. We ain't giving him no names on this show. But I can bet you bet your bottom dollar that Joker said that one right there ain't gonna be hit on. Michelle, you had something to say.
I'm just still thinking about this lady. I definitely need her name after the show, because I'm gonna have so many people praying for her, because
she ain't just on this phone. Trust me. Even the callers or people who watching on live, she is
Damian
not just
Carter.
on this phone.
Damian Carter said, if I laugh at them getting beat on, y'all gonna block me. But she talking about being an abuser and they laughing. How?
Who was talking about being an abuser? And
me. I was talking about, and I was laughing.
She was talking about mutually. She
Yeah.
hitting them and them hitting her. She felt like she wasn't even in an abusive relationship. We're not laughing about, because we understand
It's a very serious
period. But
because it's a lot of stuff that people don't understand.
Yeah.
So if they laugh, because like they said, they've never been in that situation. So.
And I was laughing because I never looked at it as serious as it is, because it was mutual combat. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Now, when I reflect and I look back, I see that it is Damian Carter very serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what can I say? I can only laugh about the past, what I did before. My experiences, not anybody else's experiences, but mine.
But you notice the ones that comment, them the ones ain't been through nothing. They ain't been through it. And my thing, I battle gambling. You can't come to me and tell me why I lost this much money. Right. You ain't never gambled. You know what I'm saying? A preacher can't preach to me. A preacher can't preach to me if he ain't never been through nothing. That's just the reality of things. So next question.
So the question was, why won't you just leave?
I love.
But
you talking about in the beginning?
Yeah,
I told y'all I love that dude. I loved him. I ain't gonna even lie. I loved him, and I thought it was cute in the beginning until the punches started getting out of control. And I could have left then, because, like I say, now it's to the point. Like back in the days, it wasn't as detrimental as it is now. You know, I probably could have left, but I stayed. You know, I had kids from him and things of that nature. But you know, I know now. I know I ain't nobody finna put their hands on me now. You believe that?
Exactly.
So
What you gonna do?
What I ain't gonna do. It's gonna be the question.
So the other question that I had was,
I'm gonna pray for him first.
Amen.
that a lot of people have, like, which is another misconception, is, didn't you see the signs from the beginning?
Heck yeah. The pushes. I'm talking about pushes like against the, like, push me and I hit the door type thing. I ain't talking about like no, oh child. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them like
Twice about
The one that done slid you close the wall. You right here and it push you all the way to the wall.
all the way to the wall.
And nobody's laughing about this.
No, we're not.
We are.
That's how we get.
communicate.
Yeah, we communicate. We
But to
definitely.
be honest, for me, because this is, and I'm up here trying so hard
We're
not to
trying
cry.
not to cry.
Laughing is what's keeping me from
good for the
crying and
soul.
breaking
Yeah.
down
Right.
up here.
Good
So
for the soul.
we're not laughing at the situation.
Absolutely. Who laughing about
Especially
being hit?
something
'Cause
we
we all
done
done
been
been
through.
hit. I'm just saying. And
Absolutely.
it wasn't
And it's
funny
not
when you got
funny.
hit. So trust me, I can laugh about the hit that I took. I'm just saying. Because it was my hit. I can laugh about that, bro.
Yo, yeah.
I'm just saying. It was mine.
I got my whole eye split open. 13 stitches.
Yeah, you still got that.
Dang,
that cut
for
right.
real?
Oh yeah, I got my. But I hit first.
Oh, you hit first.
So what that mean? You deserve it?
No, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I did
When you
initiate.
did say you hit, and you was always expecting to be hit back.
No, I wasn't expecting.
That's what you said earlier.
Yeah, this was.
So what about a person that ain't never hit back? I ain't never hit back until the last time.
To the last time you
it was
you was Tina Turner.
It was Ike and Tina that last time. Cause I felt like he gonna hit me anyway. So I might as well hit back. And after that I ain't getting them lick, another one.
Yeah.
Cause I showed out that day.
Right.
But yeah, I've never heard sorry, y'all. Y'all done heard the word sorry. I ain't never heard the word sorry. Even though if he would have said sorry when it wouldn't have meant nothing. Because it's sorry, it's the action. You got to put action behind that, bro.
I have a question.
But y'all done heard. You done heard sorry many a times.
Oh, I always heard sorry.
I have a question. Matt Moose says, so at what point do you become submissive enough to continue dealing with this type of abuse?
Well, as we stated, it starts off mentally. So you already seeing how far you can go with someone. You know what I'm saying? And once you realize that they're letting you get away with this and they're letting you get away with that, then you already stuck at some point.
I agree with you.
It starts off slow. You're not just coming in, especially when you just got on. You just say, "I'm a fighter. I'm fighting the next chick, the help fight her boyfriend, and I'm a fighter alone." So trust me, it wasn't easy to just overwhelm somebody like that to just be stuck in an abusive relationship. It starts mentally.
Yeah,
it's a mental breakdown.
And the mental process is very long, and it's manipulated. Yeah, it's a lot of intimidation. Like with the first one, there was a lot of intimidation tactics. Like when I would leave him and I go to my mama's house, he'll call me or send me a text and just be like, "Look in the backyard. This crazy motherfucker standing in the backyard. I mean, all night in the dark, just standing back there." So I'm like, this motherfucker crazy. Like,
what kind of cookies you have? That nigga's backyard.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Really?
What you had going on?
But it would be stuff like that.
Backyard, right? Fly, you getting beat up by flies and by the dogs back there?
Nothing. He probably when he back there swatting in there, cause he back there just standing.
Look,
just making light of the cigar because they all.
No, but it's just.
I just want to keep involving the, because they definitely commenting on here.
I can't see it.
Hennessy Love. Hey Hennessy. She says, I don't think it's about being submissive, but like most stated, your soul is so low. It's more about confidence of self. And then Haley Haynes states, do you guys think, since you've been in an abusive relationship, that they are now who you attract? Simple, because you don't know different.
Hold on before you answer that question.
Okay.
The first one that she had said in regards to about the submissive thing, because with the show being so important, and I only had a limited amount of experience concerning this topic, I did research it a little bit. So just thinking about the submissive, the submissive, and I was saying to Kiana, I was like, it's a form of abuse that I never even heard about, and they were saying that it's the
sexual. Is it the one?
No, it's about the man, male privilege. It's like it goes back to that exactly. It goes back to a woman in the man's role. Like they feel like they're the head of the household, so whatever it is that I say. Go, so they kind of use it as a method of control. And if you look at it from a religious standpoint, we believe that a man is the head of the household. Right. So whatever he say, go. So you're already in submissive role. So you ain't have to say much if I already believe that me as a woman, that's my position, is to be submissive to that dude. You ain't got to say or do nothing. I already automatically I came in that role.
Right. That's good.
Deep.
That's good.
That's deep.
You can go ahead with the other one.
Okay.
The next one after that.
You better preach, preacher.
I wasn't preaching, but I'm just saying I did a little research.
Do you guys think, since you've been in an abusive relationship, that they are now who you attract? Simple, because you don't know different. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can answer that so many different ways.
That's really deep.
And I can't say
Thank you,
I
Haley
can't say that that's all that I attract, for one, and I can't say that I don't. Basically, you're basically saying I don't know any better, because I do.
Clearly.
But so no, that's false.
It's just something. It's deeper than just you can't.
Yeah, because when you don't really understand it, when you ain't been in it, That's why I want to go through the misconceptions and like the hardest questions that people ask because they don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't fault you for not knowing, but
It's easy to say that you've already been in a relationship like this, and now that you get in a new relationship, you see it. Why don't you leave? It's easy to be like, why the heck would you stay?
because it don't just start physical.
Right.
It always starts mentally. And it could be something small as far as him having an insecurity, or he's controlling, or don't wear that, or you know what I'm saying. It can start with something so small like that, and then
Absolutely.
it gradually grows. So yes and no, you are what you attract, but you do know different. That's what the caller said.
Say that again.
Yes,
She
and
said yes and no, you are what you attract, but you do know different.
You are what you attract.
That's what she said.
I don't agree with that.
So a lot of people also say, well, when she get tired, she'll leave. So do you agree with that?
What she said?
Heck yeah, I was tired.
10 years.
So it took 10 years to get tired?
I was tired after about 3.
So
be
that's not
honest.
true though. So when you get tired, you don't leave.
She wasn't to her
I mean,
ending.
I wasn't till I told you what my breaking point was.
Yeah.
My breaking point was when all that happened, when that rape and all that happened. I was just like, and then my kids about to get taken. I was like, heck nah, I can't do this no more.
Everybody have an end. You
I
can, that's
can't
not
do
to
this
say
no
that you
more.
haven't been tired along the way, but you just like you just said,
A breaking
It was
point.
exactly at some point everybody has an end. That's just like telling somebody they wrong. You ain't got a point like that. I know what I did.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to tell them. Everybody got a breaking point. Whatever it is, that is. It is.
But she said you gotta have a plan. Like you can't just get up and go. Like not with nobody that done been threatening you, or you really feel like this individual gonna really do something. Like
Because
cause physical harm.
they come wherever you are, especially if they know all your family, they know where they stay, they come.
Because they don't care. They normally don't give a darn.
Right. And then you're not only trying to protect the abuser, like Monique said earlier, you're trying to protect other people, the loved ones, the other people that's involved, family and friends and, associates and stuff like that, prevent them from getting in trouble as well by doing something to the abuser. So
I found something interesting that I wanted to go over because I realized that we have a lot of different forms of help that we offer each other, but it was something that I came across once again in my research.
Oh, she a research analyst.
No,
Okay.
she was researching,
I
girl.
just researched
The day.
because like they tell us it's different things to like they'll have this list and they tell you to go down and they'll like if you'll know if you in an abusive relationship if you check this off, just check this off, because most of us may stay because we feel like we can change somebody or we feel like we can help them change. Speaking to the people who may be currently in a situation, some of the things, because this list said it was some of the things to let you know that an abuser is not changing. So this is a twist. It just stood out for me. So I just want to call off some things to let you know that their joke ain't changing. In other words,
Nah.
That's good.
he says they minimize the abuse or denies how serious it really was. They continue to blame others for their behavior. They claim that you are the one who is abusive. They pressure you to get couple counseling. You have to push them to stay in a treatment plan. It says that they can't change unless you stay with them or support them. Or they try to get sympathy from you, your children, your family, or your friends. Or they expect something from you in exchange for them getting help, or they pressure you to make a decision about the relationship. So these were some of the things that they were pointing out for the abuser trying to fake the funk, in other words. Like, we here to change, because that's what they're going to ask you for forgiveness. I'm sorry and I'm asking for forgiveness. And at some point they actually do mean it. But if they got a real deal problem, you can mean something but still may not change on the back end.
Right.
So you have to look at these signs as well. So I just wanted to say that so you can realize that we can't change nobody. At the end of the day, they got to want to change for themselves. So if nobody taking accountability for what it is that they did, that's the first sign for me, bro. you good. You can't force nobody to accept that. Just like we can't change anyone. So I just wanted to make sure that I provided.
Can't nobody
that to
change
the people.
anybody but God,
Lord.
right?
God.
So I wanted to make sure that people who are currently in an abusive situation, even when this go off, rewind it and make sure that you listen to that again if you hear some of those points, because you just want to make sure that you're looking out for you more importantly. Because at the end of the day, if they really want to help, they don't need you.
Nah,
They don't
really
need you.
Okay, so we want to, I know a lot of people got a lot of questions and comments that they want to add, but you can always go onto the live afterwards and type in you can always inbox us, and we'll be more than willing to comment and give our feedback. But I do want to go ahead and proceed because I do want to be able to. Were you done telling your story?
Yeah, I'm done.
So I do want to be able to tell my story and also have my daughter. I had a couple questions for her, for the viewers or anyone in the situation that has kids, so that they would be aware of what the kids were experiencing or currently are experiencing. So I had so much stuff I wanted to say. Wait, somebody wrap it up. No, but one thing that I did want to touch on, I want to get your opinion on it, Michelle, was, did you feel guilty that, like, after you left, did you feel guilty that you still loved him or still wanted to be with him?
Now, when I finally left, the love was pretty much gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was gone. I just told you I prayed for 2 years that he would find somebody else, and that's exactly what happened. He found somebody else. So, guilty, no. I feel bad. I should have left a long time ago. I shouldn't have let it linger that long. But as far as staying, it's been done.
They say most people leave mentally before they leave physically. Most people.
Yeah.
But,
Everybody's situation, a case by case scenario. So
that's what happened to you, Mo? You felt?
Oh yeah, I checked out a long time.
Oh, so yeah. So
you didn't feel guilty?
Feel guilty on the back.
Oh yeah, and to be honest, I still feel guilty. Because he's in prison, and he's in prison because of what he did to us, and I feel guilty because of the fact that I feel sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for where he's at, even though I know where he's at. This is where he put himself. He did this all to himself, but I feel guilty because I feel like, in a sense, like I'm letting my kids down. Like, why you still feel anything for this nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you feel like you let your kids down because of the feeling that you have.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. But just to speed it on with my second abuser. So with both of them, I can honestly say that I stayed simply because.
You don't know.
What?
Sorry, because she got to go to Tinkle. Like, tell like,
You got a pee-pee?
go to the bathroom, girl.
y'all get
Go
on my
pee-pee.
You got a pee-pee, nigga?
nerves. Get on my nerves.
Oh, my bad. You just want to just be able to get up and walk off the
I
show
was
and then
about
come
to.
back.
I was gonna hold up my finger and go on off the step.
Well, we had your daughter who needed to come up anyway, right?
No, she's not coming up.
She gonna sit right
No, she's not coming up. I'm gonna ask her questions and she's gonna
Okay,
answer from where she
gotcha.
is,
Okay.
and they'll be able to hear her.
What you need to do. Look
But
her.
Look at you like me.
what you gonna do?
Okay, Mom.
Okay. So with this second individual,
Oh, you can't. That's distracting you. Like,
yeah, that's distracting me.
You gotta put it on pause.
Got what I was about to say.
You was talking about.
Oh, but you know what? I do want to say this, that with the first one thing that I don't think no one in my family knows, except one person, one cousin, knew that one time he hit me in my ear, and I was deaf in that ear, my left ear, for about 8 years. No one knew that.
What?
Years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
For 8 years, yeah. When I finally started getting that hearing back, I was like, what? I can hear.
Say it again. You said something? What? Once again, she laughing, I can laugh.
Crazy. But so with this second individual, so like I said, this was very mental. It was a lot of verbal abuse, and I felt like, well, I'm not gonna say I didn't know that I was in an abusive relationship, because I was, being verbally abusive too, but it got to the point to where me and my kids were basically like, we were tortured in our home. Like coming home, like we couldn't sleep because of the fact that he would be up. He would be up, walking through the house all night, making sure we're not sleeping. My children started failing in school. They would go to school and go to sleep because they weren't sleeping at home. Wow. And it was just a lot of things. Like we couldn't go anywhere in public because any male in my vicinity, I knew them. I was messing with them. I was, you know what I'm saying? So it was real life pure torture being home, because this was like constantly every night, no sleep. I'm getting up, going to work, no sleep. And it was one thing I was about to say, with both of them, I think the only reason why I stayed in as long as I did was because I was married to both of them. And those vows that I made, at the time I meant them. So I felt like, I'm going to get you help. I'm going to, we're going to do this. We're going to go to counseling. We're going to do all of that. But the individual has to want to change himself. But anyway, getting back to this final incident. So I started making a plan. I was in like I said, my dance studio with my kids. And I remember I used to sit up and watch my kids sleep, because by this time, can y'all quit being distracted? This is serious right now. This is serious, Kiana.
But Kiana,
pay attention.
I lost.
Don't be calling us out like the people on the chat that called us. Like we don't do it.
But anyway, like I said, me and my kids was living in my dance studio, and by this time I had turned the power off. So we were living in there with no power, and of course there's no power. We only got cold water in the sink. So he used to come up there once he found out that we were there. He would come up there and like beat on the window, like just everything to scare us or whatever. And anyway, we get up the next morning, wash up in the sink. I go to work. My kids go to school. You would have never known what we was going through when we left.
Wow.
And so I made up in my mind that when I took my son to college, that I was leaving. I was leaving the state and leaving him. Fast forward, I did leave after we took him to college, but by that time I was pregnant from him. And I almost said something. But so anyway, he came up because they was getting ready to induce my labor, and he ended up staying like a month. He left, came back. So by this time we talking about, okay, we're gonna try and make it work. He done went to pastors and everybody else. He gonna change, he gonna do this, he gonna get off the drugs, because that was one of his problems, alcohol and drugs. And so I agreed to let him come back. So I'm just gonna keep fast forwarding so I can finally get to her. But so one day I was at work, and all of my kids were home from college for Christmas. And all I know is I got a phone call that he had pulled a gun. Let me go back, because he used to always pull the gun on me and put it to my head. Oh, wow. And like that caller was saying, they always tell you what they're gonna do, and she's absolutely right, because he used to put that gun to my head and threaten to blow my brains out, kill my children, kill, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just, anyway.
Take your time.
I can go into, anyway, let me just go back. So I'm at work, and I get a phone call from my oldest daughter that he had pulled a gun on my teenager and his baby, because she was holding his baby. So I'm gonna let her. I'm stuttering. I'm gonna let her go ahead and just give a little brief summary of what happened that day. Well, first I want to ask you a question. Did you know? Talk.
Hello.
Okay, I don't know if we checked her mic, but hopefully they can ask them if they can hear her. But
Can y'all hear her say hello again?
Hello.
so did you know that I was in an abusive relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to go there.
Probably gonna have to speak up because we don't know whether her mic is working or not. So.
Your mic working?
What they say?
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay.
Thank you, Haley.
So did you know what type of abuse it was?
Verbally, mentally, and emotionally.
That's all that you knew about?
Yes.
Okay. You nervous?
No.
Okay. But so another thing that I went through that I didn't tell a lot of people was that I was being raped all the time.
Wow.
By him. My kids don't know that. My kids don't know that. Well, I guess if you look it up, you can see. But the time that he got now, well, the most time that he's not facing. How you say it? The most time that he was sentenced to, was for the rape, not for the incident with pulling the gun on my kids. Even though he did get time for that too, but so when we were in that situation, can you tell me what were your thoughts like? What did you and your brother and sisters used to think?
Actually, what you was just talking about, I actually know about that.
Oh, you knew?
And I seen it.
Oh.
So yeah, on your phone though.
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
What were your thoughts?
Well, I just thought it was because I don't know. My thoughts was because I have a grandma who like mistreat me, and I always go back to her and go to her house, and my family will always ask me, why you always going back? You don't gotta keep going to her house. So I thought that's the reason why she was going back to her husband at the time, because she loved him and like that became her family or something. But I don't know, that's what I thought.
Thank you, caller. She said that her abuser is back. She has to go. But we'll be in contact with you. So I heard you, Kaya. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. So do you think that this affected you? Do you think that it has affected you in any way?
Yes, because I don't want a man to be in the room all the time and not helping clean up. And
What you mean be in the room? Because they don't know what you mean by that.
like just watching TV, eating up all the food, drinking all the drinks.
Eating all y'all snacks.
Yeah,
No lazy man.
yeah. While I'm out working and stuff, and not helping the kids with their homework, asking if they got their homework done, stuff like that.
Okay, so it's affected the way you choose your mate. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so to go back to the final incident, which was the final straw for me, I was in a situation where I felt like I had to choose. not only life or death for me, but life or death for my kids. Because like I said, he pulled the gun on my kids. So I'm going to let her, because she was there, I'm going to let her just tell what happened at that moment. You don't have to go into detail about everything else, but what happened?
I went in my room and I came out because my stepdad and my brother was going at it, like just yelling at each other. And I seen my baby sister, the 2-year-old, on the bed screaming.
She wasn't 2 years old at the time. She was about eight or 9 months, and it was his baby.
Yeah. On the bed, on the edge of the bed, about to fall. So I had ran over there and got her and grabbed her off the bed. And while my older sister, she had came up the stairs and was telling us that we need to go. We just leave the house. And that's when we were all walking out. I was walking out the room with my baby sister in my hand. And that's when he had told me, that's why I should have killed you when you were asleep. And the only reason why I got mad was because to me, I thought it was a dream that I seen him standing over my bed and just watching me. And but when he said that, at that moment I realized that it wasn't a dream, it was actually true. So I had threw wipes at him, and he said, throw something again, and I got something for you. Then that's when I threw a baby diaper at him, and he had reached under the bed, grabbed his Christmas bag, and he pulled out a gun and clocked it back.
Okay, I can't.
So what was going through your mind?
A lot of things. The first one was, if he pulled his if he pulled his gun.
I gotta move.
Bruh.
You can go, Michelle.
Bruh. Get her?
If he pulled his trigger, somebody gotta get my little sister. If he pulled his trigger,
I gotta go, y'all.
So I don't want to
I love all of you.
As we stated earlier, this is a very serious situation. I believe someone stated on the comments earlier, where was the family? We was right here. Family and friends, we was right here.
They didn't know.
And we ain't know nothing.
They didn't know it was that bad.
Nothing. So that's your answer. We was here. But she was protecting us. Protecting her brothers. She got brothers. She got cousins. She got family. We was here.
So we're going to wrap it up because I don't think she'll be able to finish. But
Michelle couldn't take it, so
yeah, so she had to leave. But anyway, I just want to give the number to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which is 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 7233, and that's open 24/7. You can call them. They also have a website, which is thehotline.org. We'll go ahead and just wrap things up. We will finish the conversation if y'all want to.
In a chat. We'll open up a chat and we can all talk. Anybody that's been abused or currently in a relationship where they're being abused, definitely reach out to us so we can, just rally around one another, give information, give advice, whatever we can do to help. We're here. SWP, Spoken with Purpose. This is the platform where you can talk with us.
I chose my words and always spoke with purpose. I'ma speak my mind until they close the curtains. Look deep. I chose my words and always spoke with purpose. I'ma speak my mind until they close the curtains. Look deep inside before you judge the
All right, so we're about to wrap the show up. We're not going to be able to play the intro music going out, but we definitely, you want to? Okay, so it did play, but we couldn't hear. But thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, we out of here. I got the words, man.